Hello everyone, welcome to the CKA practice test series. Today we're going to see how to create and expose the deployment. Here is a question. Create a deployment nginx-web in the namespace web-app using httpd image and expose the deployment with the NodePort 32220 with the service name nginx-web-svc. Then we need to use the curl command to access pods which has been deployed from this deployment and the IP address of worker node with the NodePort, and then we need to save the output in this location on the control plane node. To break up this question, first we need to create the deployment, then we need to expose that deployment with the service, and we have to mention the NodePort with this port number 32220. Once we have done that, then we need to access the pod that has been deployed under this deployment from the control plane by using the curl command. So let's start first deploying the deployment, but before that let's check whether this namespace web app is already there or not, and if it is not there, then we need to create this namespace. I am in the console right now, so let's first check how many namespaces are there using this kubectl get namespace command. Okay, I do not see the namespace mentioned here, web-app. So first let's create the web-app namespace. kubectl create namespace web-app. Perfect. Let's check the created namespace using kubectl get namespaces. Here we are. Namespace has been successfully created. Next we need to create a deployment nginx-web, and we need to use this httpd image. Create the deployment, we need to use the imperative command once again. kubectl create deploy. The deployment name that they have mentioned is nginx-web, and then image is http://.4.41-alpine, and we need to create in the namespace of web-app. Okay, perfect. We have created the deployment. Let's check the deployment using kubectl get deployment -namespace web-app. Perfect. We have this deployment ready. Let's back to the question once again. We have created this deployment, and then we need to expose this deployment with the service called nginx-web-svc. Before exposing this deployment, let's first check whether the pod has been deployed correctly or not. kubectl get pods, and then namespace is web-app. Our pod is running smoothly, so let's create the service which will expose the deployment. Okay, there are two types here to create the service. One, we can create using the YAML file, or we can go ahead and create using the command. That is the imperative method. So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm just creating the imperative command for the service, and then we'll edit the YAML file. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So kubectl expose, then deployment kubectl expose. So what we need to expose is deployment, so that's the reason I have written as a deployment. So if you have a question regarding expose pod, then we need to write it pod here. Okay, and then what is the deployment name? That is nginx-web, and the type is NodePort, and then this HTTPD where we have in which port it's actually exposing. So it's exposed on port 80. So let's type --port is equal to 80. This is the command that can help us to create the service, but we are not hitting enter. I need to do some changes on the YAML file, so I'm just putting try run is equal to client, and -o output should be in YAML file, and then save it as q1.yaml. Oh, something, we got an error card, error from the server not found, deployment.apps nginx web is not found. Okay, the reason behind this is I haven't declared the namespace, because in the default namespace we do not have the deployment called web-app. So let me define the namespace here, -n, and web-app is our namespace name. So I hope this will create the YAML file. Perfect. Then I will use the vi editor, vi space q1.yaml. Here's the YAML file that we have. We have a port 80, and then what we require here is we need to specify the node port. Okay, let me define the node port here. Node port is, let's check what is the node port here, is 32220. 32220. Okay, so we are creating the service, and that is selecting this label of, here we are mentioning the label, and then this is the service name. So let's check what is the service name here that they have mentioned is nginx-web-svc. Okay, nginx-web-svc. Okay, and the namespace is web-app, and then port is 80. Node port is this 32220. It's on TCP protocol, and then selector that is used for the deployment that we have, and then type is NodePort. Okay, maybe wondering how we can write the YAML file in the exam. So we need to navigate to the Kubernetes IO documentation page, and from there we can see this is the YAML file to define the service with the node port. Okay, so this is the second method that we can use to create the service if you don't want to use the imperative method. My suggestion would be, in the examination we will have very less time to create these services. So it's better if we remember the command syntax and get familiarized with the commands, because it will help us to deploy the resources very quickly. Okay, so here we are for this YAML file. Let's save this and then create the service by specifying kubectl create -f q1.yaml. Perfect, it has been created. So let's check kubectl get svc, the namespace is web-app. Perfect, the service has been created successfully. You may be wondering how I know this expose command. So if you do the kubectl expose -help, you will get the information about the examples that you can use for creating the service and what and all the options that we have. So you just navigate through this and you have to create your own command as per the exam question. So it's back to the question. We have created service and then we need to use a curl command to access the pods which is deployed on the worker node with the NodePort, and we need to save the output in this location of control plane node. Okay, let's first check the IP address of the worker node. kubectl get node -o wide. This is the IP address of node, and they have mentioned that we need to use a curl command from the control plane node. So already we are on the control plane, so let's type curl. The IP address of worker node is 172.30.2.2 and then the node port, that is 32220. Awesome, it has printed this, it works. So we are able to curl the pod that is running under deployment. So let's save this output in /temp, and they have also mentioned the file name as nginx-web.txt. nginx-web.txt. Okay, let's check using the cat command. Yeah, this is the output that we have saved in this file. That's it. So we're able to successfully create the deployment and expose using the service. Additionally, we have used the curl command to access the worker node using the NodePort. That's it for this question. Thank you for watching.